I don't plan anything. I wing this shit every time.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is Podcast, the movie, the podcast with me, your host. It feels like it's been a while. Rubyen McCormick. It has
been a while.
I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to come in hot here. If you're just now tuning in, if this is your first episode, you've got a lot of catching up to do. Or just, hey, just from here on out.
There you go.
Just continue.
Yeah.
But
best audio quality from this point.
Well, it gets better. Trust me, guys. In the next 2 or 3 episodes, it's going to sound a lot better than what you're hearing right now. Believe me. And if you don't, skip 3 or 4 episodes later, and you're good. But hey, I've got a couple guys with me here, a couple of my buddies, and we're short one man. Unfortunately, we've got another sickness coming in hot. It's alternating. One of us gets sick, one of us doesn't, one of us does, and then we need interns that come in. And we
special
need
guests, if you will.
Not even special guests, just interns.
Just interns.
Yeah, they only come in once a month.
People that have no idea what they're actually talking about or actually doing or anything like that.
I would actually like if we had a guest who just comes in, they don't even know they're on the podcast. They're just in the Discord with us. They just come over to the studio.
There you go.
And they're just like, "What are we doing, guys?" And we just keep rolling with it. But I've got Tyler with me.
What's up?
I've got Austin with me here.
What it do, baby boo?
And we are actually short Mr. Logan. A little bit under the weather.
Rest in peace, Logan.
R.I.P. Logan.
He's not actually dead. He just doesn't feel good. Yeah, no, I think he's maybe just playing Guitar Hero or something.
Yeah.
But guys, welcome back again. Another episode, another week. Later on, we're going to get into, I would say, probably one of my favorite movies. Not in my top 5, but one of my favorite movies from one of my favorite directors.
Absolutely, one of my favorite directors.
If you don't know, you probably should have read it when you hit play on your app, but it's called Bottle Rocket. It is a very early entry into Wes Anderson's take on filmography, if you will. But before we get started, before we jump right into the movie, I just want to catch up with you guys because it's been a while since I've heard from you. What have you guys been doing? What have you been up to? Watching anything specific?
Well, Rubyen, I'm glad you asked. I'm here in full force for you today. I think I've watched like one thing, and that was Shrek 2.
Oh yeah,
Shrek
a continuation of the last episode.
Yeah. We watched Shrek 1, and I enjoyed it so much that Hannah was feeling a little sad and sickly the other night, and I was like, you know what better way to spend this evening than to watch Shrek 2. So we watched Shrek 2, and I talked to Tyler a little bit about this already, but I think I've decided that I like Shrek 1 more than I like Shrek 2.
That's a
hot take.
I think Shrek 2 does some things very well. I think some of the characters that are introduced are done very well, like Puss in Boots, like he's top tier. However, I just
Fairy Godmother,
movie,
Prince Charming.
I was telling Tyler that I thought that Shrek 2 kind of comes at you hard and fast. It's throwing jokes at you. The story's going. It's
a
off.
Pop culture icon.
It's literally what it is, pop culture everything. And then Shrek 1 felt natural. All the jokes in it felt like they just rolled off the tongue. Everything felt like it was supposed to be like that. And I liked that about Shrek 1. And Shrek 2, not that it's not a great film, because I want everyone to know it's fantastic. Still, it's like top 5, as Rubyen would say.
Yeah. Not in my top 5.
It's great. I really want to watch Shrek 3 and 4 because I've never seen Shrek 3
I want to
and 4.
as well. I think I might do that when I lay down this week.
But that's
Shrek
the
3D.
Thing. I have a feeling Shrek 3 and 4, I feel like they're going to be bad, and I've never seen them.
3 actually, I think, was pretty well received. I think 4
was
is where it started. 4 was like a whole different cast of directors, writers, producers, and I think 4 kind of started dropping it off.
4 feels like what Disney does with most of their sequels. So they just give it to another,
Are Are you talking
He's
Cars 2
he's
sequel?
talking- No, he's talking
I'm talking about
planes.
like
talking
Little Mermaid
planes.
2,
okay.
Lion King 2.
103 Dalmatians.
Yeah,
I don't even know if that's a thing.
I don't know if that's a thing, but yeah, that seems like the type of thing that would be done by the sea crew. So
That's sad.
Yeah.
I mean, I still want to watch them just to say that I've seen all of them. I thought about buying. I think I saw like all 4 of them on Blu-ray. I think so. I think I might buy that. Maybe. I don't know. But I think Shrek 2, unless I think of something else while you guys are
You just
going
watched
over-
Shrek 2 all week. Give me
Well-
one real quick. Give me 5 minutes. What have you been playing this week, video game wise? I know this is a movie podcast, man, but video games are movies that we interact with.
correct.
What?
Man, I don't
You've
think
just been busy.
I've been working and gym and
Just responsible.
I know, man. I've been signing up for like my college stuff again. Like I haven't had time to do anything really.
Hey,
when I go to
keep at
bed
it.
at night, Hannah will stay the night sometimes, and we'll watch Whose Line Is It Anyway? Do you guys ever
Oh,
watch
yeah.
that shit?
Fucking
Yeah,
love-
I grew
love
up
Whose
on
Line.
that.
Yeah.
That shit is literally all on HBO Max.
Yeah.
No plug, but
Is it
HBO
really?
Max. Yeah, we
I
watch
might
it every
Have
other
to
night.
sign up again for HBO Max.
It's fantastic. So we watch that like every night, but I don't count that because I just kind of
No, it
I
counts.
listen to it, like I watch it in passing, but like, and it's not. I mean, it's a funny show. Sometimes I just watch it for fun. There's not really any jokes that make me laugh out loud, but I have a really shit humor, so I don't know.
Do you find the annoying orange funny? Is that
No.
okay?
Oh no. No, sir. No, I don't.
Cool, man. So you've just Shrek 2 and then responsibilities, just
Shrek
life
2 and
choices.
responsibilities, life shit.
What's more responsible than Shrek 2?
Nothing,
But
honestly.
yeah. On my side of things, guys, just to let you know, somehow it came up a podcast or two ago. Maybe I even mentioned it last podcast, but I've been watching American Pie.
Oh yeah.
And
Okay.
let me tell you, it holds up. It's 22 years later, it is some funny shit, dude. And they're even talking about like e-dating, and they have webcams, and they're like live streaming stuff.
yep,
And like what foresight this movie had for the future of the internet and social relationships, I guess you could say. But definitely fart jokes and juvenile high school humor. But it's well made. At least the first one.
I don't think I've seen American Pie.
The first one, just American Pie.
Oh wow.
Wait, is that? I may have seen bits and pieces of it. Is it the one where the guy like fucks
You
a
got
pie?
it. You got
Yes,
it.
that's it.
Hence the name. Hence
Yep.
the name of the movie.
Wow. Yeah, I think
it's-
I've seen
it's
bits
a-
and pieces.
It's a coming of age comedy, end of high school, going into college. What are we gonna do with our lives?
Yep.
Bunch of virgin incels. Just the nerd guys are getting laid, but not the jock guys. And then the jock guys join drama class, and then it's just it's funny stuff. But I watched American Pie, and then followed it up with more juvenile but middle-aged humor. Step Brothers, unrated.
Hell yeah.
I don't
Hell
know.
yeah.
I watch shit movies when I go to bed, and that's it. I watched Step Brothers.
Nothing at all
American
wrong
Pie.
with that.
I continue. I think I mentioned last week that I started Big Daddy. I watched Big Daddy.
Okay.
I fell asleep about 30-40 minutes in, and I ended up finishing it the other night. Big Daddy holds up as well. I mean, just the whole. I don't know. There's something about 1999, 2001, those movies. You guys got to go back and watch some of that stuff. Austin, have you seen Big Daddy?
No, you should know me better.
You're right. I think you would like it, though. I think, honestly, you would like it. It's a 30-year-old Adam Sandler.
Yep.
His roommate is doing something with his life. His roommate, Jon Stewart, going to get a job. And, Adam Sandler is at his apartment. This little kid gets dropped off. They're like, hey, here's your kid. They leave immediately. Don't check anything. Don't sign anything. It's his roommate's kid who is away on a business trip. And Adam Sandler has to take care of this 5-year-old as a 30-year-old single non-kid having.
As a 30-year-old single child.
He's a man-child eating cereal, watching cartoons. It's hilarious. And
I'm 27 now, and I feel like I eat cereal and watch cartoons. So
exactly why you would love this movie. Trust me.
If
I don't know.
somebody
There's
just dropped
something
a
about it.
5-year-old off at your fucking doorstep,
And you had to
that
take
had
care
to-
of them.
Yeah.
How do you feed him? 30 packages of ketchup? If he pees the bed, what do? You just put newspapers down all over the bed and say, "Go back to sleep."
There you go. That seems to work.
But other than that, guys, I've just been playing a lot of video games. I recently bought a cheap Xbox One, just going back and playing some classics.
And he won't stop talking about it.
I won't stop talking about it. But Tyler, what's up? Let me acknowledge real quick for the viewers on YouTube right now. Dude, you have a full, what is this? A windbreaker, a tie, a button-up shirt.
Yes.
You are just
we're
balling
doing
right now.
Wes Anderson, so I figured I'd dress the part
you have to wear
today.
a suit. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Have to wear
have
a
honestly,
suit
you acknowledge
to
that I've
the,
never seen Wes Anderson in a t-shirt.
Right. He's just
Never.
a classy motherfucker is what he is. So
I feel like Wes Anderson just drinks French press coffee and eats baguettes raw. And then just like he wakes up in the morning, immediately starts playing jazz music. He doesn't even know who the jazz artist is. He's just like, play jazz, Alexa. And then it just starts playing jazz. And that's his day. But first thing, he puts on a suit.
You know, the thing about Wes Anderson, and I'm going to get into this a little bit later, you know, he's from our state. So
yeah, he's a Texan.
He's a Texas boy. He was from Houston, ended up going to school at UT Austin. He's 100% a Texas boy. And the film that we're actually going to be covering today was 100% filmed in the Dallas area. So, man, I figure, I'd dress the part,
Oh, he directed Isle of Dogs. I've always wanted to see that.
Show up
movie.
for the
hey, you should
dress,
deep dive
dress
Austin.
for the part that you want to be.
That's why I'm wearing a Seinfeld cutoff tee.
Ba-doop, boop, ba-doop.
I'm just wearing a shitty V-neck. I don't know what the fuck y'all are on about.
I wish the Seinfeld shirt was a V-neck, dude. But Tyler comes in here and classes it up, so.
Yeah, 100%, man. I got to class it up, especially during Wes Anderson week. So
right.
So I want to take a moment to talk about one. It's a TV show and then some movies. So one of the TV shows that I really wanted to be able to mention it's on HBO Max. It's called Mayor of Easttown. I don't know if anybody's watching that right now. It is a fucking fantastic. It's a murder mystery whodunit thing that's on HBO Max right now. And just it's Kate Winslet and Guy Pearce and just a bunch of people that you wouldn't recognize as actors, but just fucking fantastic show. Just absolutely love the show. I think next week is going to be the I don't know if it's a season finale. I don't know if it's a one season and done kind of thing, or if it's going to end up. It's whatever. It's really good. It's very, very, very good, and it's right in my wheelhouse of murder mystery. You kind of get deep dive into the community and just everything that goes on in the community. It's fucking awesome. It's an awesome show. So everything else that I did this week was centered around the movie that we're going to be talking about. So I watched Bottle Rocket twice. And then on top of that, I figured, since I had a little bit of time, because I always do, I decided I was going to, I know, right? It's because I never sleep. I'm a fucking vampire. You guys didn't know this about me.
Well, so
I'm a vampire.
let me just say, and hopefully I'm not outing you, but you were up till like 3:30 a.m. last night.
Correct.
And then this morning when I woke up, and this morning I mean 1 p.m.
Okay.
I looked at my text messages, and you had texted our group at like 8 a.m.
Yes.
So you slept for like 4 hours.
Yeah, that's typical.
I can't imagine.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Can't
I don't know
imagine
why.
life.
It's the way that my brain operates. So
It'll catch you eventually.
Yeah, dude. I'm okay. Well, yeah, they've been saying that for 20
25
plus years. Yeah. So if it doesn't fucking catch up now, I don't know what's gonna happen. So so this week, what I actually did is I sat down and I started breaking out the entire Wes Anderson catalog. I didn't watch the entire Wes Anderson catalog because that's crazy. What I did watch, however, is I watched, like I said, I watched Bottle Rocket twice. I watched Rushmore. I watched Moonrise Kingdom. I
Love it.
watched The Royal Tenenbaums. I watched
Love it.
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Love
and I
it.
watched Grand Budapest Hotel. Okay.
Love it.
So, and in the process of doing this, I decided I was going to sit there and like kind of break down my favorite Wes Anderson movies.
Do you have a top 3, top 5?
I have a top 9. How does that sound?
Just
So that's-
in order.
Did you legit just watch like half of his filmography?
I
all
watched
week?
almost all of his filmography.
I'm missing
There's
a
only
few
he
of
only
them.
has 9 movies. He only has 9 movies. So
okay.
Written and directed.
yeah, written and directed. So
Okay. 'Cause I'm,
the
okay, got you.
the movies that
Also,
I didn't
you would
watch of
you would
his
love
this week.
Rushmore.
Yeah, dude. Once you have an understanding of what Wes Anderson is doing whenever he's making a movie, and look, you can see early snippets of that in Bottle Rocket, but man, it makes itself ever so present as you go further and further along into his catalog. He's one of those directors that whenever you point out like the Wes Anderson isms, he doesn't pull away from that at all. He owns that shit 100% and then leans so fucking hard into it. And I love it so very much.
To the point where we talked about his new movie, French Dispatch, just being a parody of himself.
Oh my God. Yeah, if you watch the trailer is fucking fantastic. And it leads into, well, so let me go ahead and give you my from worst to best Wes Anderson films.
I'm ready. I'm taking notes.
And by worst, what I mean is, I mean there has to be a there's none of these movies that I don't like.
Right,
There's-
still good. You just your personal.
Correct.
I prefer to not watch this one first.
Yes. Well, not even that, but I feel like I don't think it has like not watch it first, but I feel like that there are. I mean, you can see him as he grows as a filmmaker, and like there are certain things that I really love about each one of these films. So my number 9 is Isle of Dogs. So Isle of Dogs.
Hold on. Is that a bad movie?
It's not a
No,
bad
it's
movie
not.
at all.
It's not at all.
It's not
No.
at all a bad movie. It's a really enjoyable movie, and with some really incredible themes. And you know, it's one of 2 stop motion animation movies that he has made. Almost all of his movies, include some type of stop motion animation in them. But this is the first. You know, he made 2 different stop motion animation films. And Isle of Dogs just happens to be the number 9 film
Which
on my
in
list.
4K looks
It looks incredible.
absolutely mind blowing.
Yes. So my number 8 Wes Anderson film is The Darjeeling Limited. The Darjeeling Limited is a very...
I put that as like my third.
Okay. Darjeeling Limited is a very... you want to talk about like multicultural, multi-everything, people moving... You know, a family getting close together. There's so much that goes on in that film, and it's an incredibly enjoyable film. It's just that whenever you have to rank things that you love very much, it doesn't find its way into the top 5 of my Wes Anderson films. Number 7 for me is The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. So I love this film.
My second favorite.
But I love it because of
Maybe
Bill
my
Murray.
first.
I love it because of the crazy eclectic cast that they have. But Bill Murray 100% owns this fucking film.
Is Owen Wilson in every movie that he's made?
He is not in every single movie that he has made.
90% of them, maybe?
He has been in...
So far,
Let's
each
see.
one that I've clicked on,
He has been
it says
in 8.
Owen Wilson's in it.
He's been in 8, including The French Dispatch. So of the films that have been released before now, he is in 7 of those films.
Well, keep in mind again. So Wes is from Texas. Owen, the Wilson brothers are from Texas. At some point they were probably even personal friends prior to doing movies. I mean, I think it's just
They went to school together. Owen
Yeah, there we
Wilson
go.
and Wes Anderson went to UT together. They did they had a screenwriting course together, and I don't know how many of them I sit down and figure this out, but in a number of his films they are written by Owen Wilson and
Right.
Wes Anderson, directed by Wes Anderson. So, I mean, they work very well together as writing partners, but their ability to be able to work together as actor and director, I mean, it's fucking stunning. It really is. and you know, a lot of people give Owen Wilson shit about like the movie
Oh,
choices that he
wow.
has made, and the that whole thing. So you know, from the shit, we talked about it a couple episodes ago with the like Shanghai Noon and everything like that. Whenever
Love
you
it.
know, whenever he goes off and makes these silly fucking buddy cop comedies and everything like that he kind
Night
of
at the
does.
Museum.
It's not they're not like great films per se. But I think Owen Wilson is an incredibly talented actor, because his ability to be able to play so many different parts, and he has played a number of parts throughout the Wes Anderson catalog. Let me continue. Okay, let me get back to my list.
Yeah. Go back.
So, from number 7 of Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, I go to number 6, which is the film that we're going to be reviewing today, Bottle Rocket. So, Bottle Rocket, I love Bottle Rocket, and I'll go way more in depth about that here in just a minute. Yeah. So, my number 5 film is his follow-up to Bottle Rocket, which is Rushmore. And Rushmore is
he would love it.
Goddamn great film. It's just such a well-made movie. You can see that Wes Anderson is starting to feel his own like he's discovering the things that he can do, and he has a lot more like studio support and everything like that going into this film.
I think I mentioned this to you last night, Tyler, but Austin, if you want to start deep diving Wes Anderson, right? So Bottle Rocket is his EP, if you will.
Yes.
Bottle Rocket is his I need to get funding.
Yep.
Look at what I can do.
Yep.
And Rushmore is his feature length fucking 14 track album. Rushmore defines
number 1 on the
Wes
fucking
Anderson.
charts for months
Right.
on end. Yeah, it's that. In music terms, it is 100% that.
Yeah.
So I go from Rushmore to my number 4 movie. My number 4 movie is Moonrise Kingdom. Moonrise Kingdom feels, man, you want to talk about a movie that feels like Wes Anderson, like from everything, from the opening credits, from everything that the introduction of Ed Norton's character, just everything that's going on. It's such a fucking stellar film. My number 3, so 4 is Moonrise Kingdom. My number 3, which it was like it goes back and forth between my number 2 spot and my number 3 spot. It's the Royal Tenenbaums, and I've
think
been trying
at
to,
one point you told me that was your favorite. Wes Anderson at one point.
It was my favorite, and then like the more that I keep going back and forth on all the different Wes Anderson movies. Look, this is my list as of making it yesterday. So that is not. I mean, in 2 years, this is definitely not going to be my list. So the Royal Tenenbaums, you want to talk about a fucking crazy eclectic cast? You got Owen and Luke Wilson.
Is that where Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson ended up at some point becoming friends?
And you could see the beginnings of the creation of the characters that they would eventually end up playing in Zoolander, which is, if you haven't seen Zoolander, just stop this, go watch Zoolander, come back so you can hear the rest of my list. So Royal Tenenbaums, just fucking Gene Hackman, Angelica Houston, just crazy cast of characters. Danny Glover, just everything about the movie is wonderful. My number 2 film is The Fantastic Mr. Fox. So The Fantastic Mr. Fox is a stop motion. Do what? Never heard of it?
Interesting.
Okay.
No, interesting. That's your number 2.
Man, it is a masterwork in storytelling. It is the time and effort and everything like that went into be able to make that movie it had to have been incredibly difficult to be able to make something like that, and to have it come out where you actually give a shit about the characters, and you want to talk about like a depth of personality and everything like that. It is 100% present throughout the entire film, and it still has all of the fun things about being a Wes Anderson film. Which leaves me to my number 1 favorite film by Wes Anderson, which is The Grand Budapest Hotel. And it is, I mean, it's a masterpiece.
It has everything. It has multiple resolutions. It has a list,
yeah.
a bullet point list. It has a do we have these items checklist. It
Yes.
has the dysfunctional family that spans generations.
Yep.
I mean, it's Wes Anderson to a T. I think the Grand Budapest is probably. I think that's the final. Like, this is Wes Anderson moving forward. This is Wes Anderson as it gets.
And, it's the reason why I like Moonrise Kingdom so much is because Moonrise Kingdom and Grand Budapest, they feel very much like brother-sister kind of films. And you could see where he was going with his filmmaking process as he was making Moonrise Kingdom. And then whenever you see Grand Budapest Hotel and just the way everything plays out in that, I mean, you have everything. You have multiple narration points. And the fucking cast of characters in Grand Budapest is Ralph Fiennes, F. Murray Abraham, Adrian Brody, Willem Dafoe, Jeff Goldblum, Harvey Keitel, Jude Law, Bill Murray, Edward Norton, Saoirse Ronan, Jason Schwartzman, Tilda Swinton, Tom Wilkinson, Owen Wilson, and then Tony Revolori. I can never pronounce his name, as Zero. Just a fucking incredible cast.
I love Zero.
Oh yeah, he's by far my favorite character in the entire film.
And the only thing that beats that cast is going to be the French Dispatch, which we should see in
I'm so
3
excited.
months.
I'm so excited to be able to see French Dispatch.
I don't buy video games at $60. I don't buy movies at $19.99.
Yep.
I may buy the French Dispatch day one.
Oh yeah. Well, not only that, but I'm going to go see it day one.
It's going to be the theater. The theaters are back.
Theaters are back.
Invest in AMC if you're listening.
Yeah, and like legitimately, it's going to be. I can't wait to be able to go watch the French Dispatch in theaters
and hear people laugh and like the audience. Oh, when shit happens,
yes,
and like people clapping, and there's no clapping point, but people start clapping. You're like, why are you clapping? I love it.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait for that. So that is my list of Wes Anderson movies, least favorite to most favorite. Still, though, Wes Anderson is one of those directors that I bought a season pass to. Whenever I think somewhere around the neighborhood of Rushmore, I was like, I caught Rushmore because anything that he makes. Anything that he makes, I'm in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever he does.
I thought you had intel on like a Wes Anderson subscription service that I'm not familiar with.
No. I'm a season pass holder for anything that Wes Anderson makes. I'm going to go see it in theaters. He's on my list of favorite directors just ever. Man, I'm telling you, going back and watching like Grand Budapest Hotel and Royal Tenenbaums specifically, there are some moments in Royal Tenenbaums, man, where like it's like, tear jerking and just like the level of
the funeral scenes.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man. And just the level of everything that happens in that. And same thing with Grand Budapest Hotel. Like the thing that I love about Wes Anderson in his films is he pulls no punches in anything. In that, I don't give a shit if you're attached to a character. That doesn't really mean anything to Wes Anderson. If it is the way forward in storytelling to be able to violently kill a beloved character, yeah, that's 100% what's going to happen. And you get to see that throughout. Like Grand Budapest Hotel is just rife full of just untimely deaths. I love it. I love the film so much, so very much. That's why it's my number one favorite Wes Anderson movie. So back to you, Ruben.
Well, guys, I just want to continue on here. I mean, we're going to get into Bottle Rocket. I think we talked about the movies that we watched, the TV shows, the video games that we watched and played. But I mean, Austin, what's like a big takeaway for you, man? I mean, what did you like about Bottle Rocket? What did you dislike about Bottle Rocket? I mean, was this your first time watching the movie? Have you seen it before?
Is this you saying that we're now jumping into the Bottle Rocket talk?
We're going straight into Bottle Rocket
Bottle
at this
Rocket
point because we're 30 minutes in. I want an hour.
Let me take off my jacket.
Wait, the jacket's coming off.
Wait, jacket's coming
off.
Hey,
take off your coat and jacket. Take off your pants and jacket.
Take
actually,
off your pants and jacket.
Right.
Yeah, I ruined
it off.
It's way funnier whenever you say it the right way.
I ruined it. Just can we edit that?
If
If Logan's listening, okay, fuck. Anyways,
listen to the tie. Here we go.
You got to unbutton at least 2 of them.
Okay, here we go. There we go.
All right.
Wow. Snazzy.
I mean,
All
is this the first time that you've seen the movie? Were you familiar with Wes Anderson? I know you mentioned Isle of Dogs, but have you seen any Wes Anderson movie, or is this your first movie?
Great questions, Rubyen. Great questions. I'm gonna come back at that with another question.
Okay.
Have I ever seen any movie ever?
Well, apparently you like Chucky.
Yeah,
Annabelle.
he likes real shit. He likes real shit horror movies. Is what he likes.
Bona fide cinematic masterpiece.
Have you seen Tremors?
A master class in horror.
Okay.
Do not get me started on the 7-movie Chucky timeline.
I'm waiting on you to recommend us some horror movies to start watching.
Please. We've already watched one of the best ones. It was Hereditary, but that's besides the
I
point.
was out.
Yeah.
What about, have you seen Tremors?
I mean, when I was a kid, I saw Tremors. I haven't watched it now.
It's not a great
It looks
horror
like
movie.
shit now.
It's way more of a comedy than it is a horror.
It's a comedy. It's a comedy action. But back to Wes Anderson.
Yeah,
Right. So, no, I had never seen a Wes Anderson movie before. And
Ever.
No,
This is your first one.
Right. No, I'd never seen one.
I appreciate that, though, because this is your first Wes Anderson. So we're going to lead you in over the next few months. We're going to deep dive
and
more and more.
Like, I had heard of Isle of Dogs only from like commercials and stuff on TV,
Sure.
and I saw the stop motion, and I was like, that looks really pretty. Like, it looks really well done. And that was when movie theaters were alive back in 2018.
and
I
back in
saw
the times when movie theaters were alive.
Back in the day.
And I used to see trailers for it, and I was like, I bet that's going to be a pretty solid movie. But I never knew, I never even looked to see who the director was, because at the time, I was a normie, and when it came to movies, I only cared about like the Marvel movies that came out and like Quentin Tarantino movies, and then like occasionally a horror
real
movie
quick.
would come out.
Speaking of Marvel, Owen Wilson now is a official Marvel character.
Yeah.
coming into Loki in the next few weeks, the next month. So imagine Owen Wilson starting as a Wes Anderson college friend, doesn't have any money, doesn't know what he's doing with his life. This movie bombs. He's a terrible actor. And now he's making hundreds of thousands, if not millions, or possibly billions over the next few years.
Yeah.
I don't know about billions, but
Well, it is Disney and it is Marvel. All the best, Owen Wilson. I'm jealous. And oh wow. But whatever you were saying, Austin. So first time you've seen this?
yeah, first time I've seen this. I'd never heard of him before until we started doing this shit. I didn't know about a lot of things in terms of the movie verse. Like, it's you guys are to movies that I am to video games. Like, when it comes to video game, like studios and shit, like I can list that shit off, tell you who makes what, how things work. I can't do that with movies, or at least I'm getting better at doing that with movies.
And I believe that because, again, I recently got an Xbox, and something came up where I beat you on like Rock Band. By the way, I beat you at Rock Band. And,
okay, great.
I went to your profile, and you have like 120,000 points or some shit.
That is correct. I actually have 2 accounts. One has 122,000, and I started a new one for fun because I wanted to replay games and get the achievements again. And that one has like 25,000.
Jesus Christ.
That's
So
just what I
you.
do, bro.
I believe you did.
But
Again, when Tyler gets all the funding, all the development money, all the venture capitalists come in, you and I are going to deep dive, and I want you to host podcast, the video game, the podcast, and I want you to deep dive video games.
Well, here's the thing, buddy. I have a podcast that I can never find anybody to do it with, and I've already heavily considered getting you guys together on a separate
We can have
night.
2 podcasts. Yeah,
Like,
we'll
we
have
can
2
do
podcasts.
like Monday
the same
or,
night.
Like, like, I don't know what days we would record, but like there'd be nights where we record the movie one, and then there's nights we record the game one, and then you can just send me the audio. I'll do all the editing, and I'll take care of it.
Okay, so for the listeners out
post it.
there, all the movie fans, all the critics listening to our podcast, if you want to hear a second podcast from the same people in this podcast, unrelated content about video games, and for some reason you want to hear that, let us know. Email us, message us, comment. Logan's not here. He can't give me the whole spill, so I'm kind of upset about that.
And it won't be, if we do make that happen, which I think we should. I don't think it should be an hour and a half long like we do for movies. I don't
2
think
hours.
If it gets to that long, it gets to that long. But I feel like it'd be nice if it was like bite-sized, like 30-minute, 45-minute chunks.
Sure, absolutely.
But that's besides the point. Anyway,
Yeah, let me get you back. Let me get you back.
Bottle Rocket.
Bottle Rocket. Bottle Rocket. No, I had never seen or heard of Bottle Rocket before. And I'm not gonna lie to you, Ruben. I wasn't a huge fan.
Okay, I feel that.
I wasn't a huge fan when I was watching it. I was telling actually Tyler, because I'm really bad about watching these movies for the podcast, and then I see Tyler at work, and I'm like, hey, I would like to talk about this now, and then I start talking about it. So I'm really bad about doing that.
And I have to be like, save it for the podcast.
He tells me, but like I can't help it. I'll be like, do you remember this part? And then if you say the right thing to Tyler, he'll just start fucking going. So
What?
It's great. It's great. But so I was telling him that I could tell that I could tell that the movie was made on a small budget. You could tell with how crummy the audio sounded in a lot of the scenes. It sounded really echoey in a lot of the scenes. Some of the transitions to different scenes, like the abrupt cuts, were done, in my opinion, too early or too late in some of the scenes.
Oh boy!
Yeah,
Wait till you start watching other Wes Anderson movies.
The acting, which I didn't know it was Owen Wilson's like first movie and stuff, but like the acting in it was okay.
Yeah.
Like it was just okay. Like it got the job done, but it wasn't great. I'm not gonna say that I liked it, because I don't think I would ever watch it again. Like I don't think I would rewatch it.
Really, I think this is a movie similar to Napoleon Dynamite. This is a movie that the more you watch it, the more that you get into the movie, the better the movie gets, because of the very small context and the conversations and the play on, oh, this was set up 45 minutes ago based on one line in the movie, based on one line in passing that now ties into something else. And we'll probably get into that. Tyler and I might get into that a little bit, but
100%.
I take that, dude. I totally understand it. I get it. It's not the best. I mean, the movie was a box office failure. The movie literally made Owen Wilson go, oh man, I am not an actor. I should probably join the Army or the Marines or whatever.
He's going to join the Marines.
This movie was a failure, 100%. And it's still, today, it doesn't have the best reviews, the best ratings.
Nope.
But on a different scale of things, for myself, this is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. The comedy is subtle.
At the same time, though, when I look at it from a different perspective, like for what it is, like if I could think of myself making my first movie, I don't think it would be that good. Like, for a first movie, that's pretty good for what it is.
It's damn good for a first movie.
I can't compare it to something like Reservoir Dogs when you talk about like first movies. That movie's fucking top notch.
Yeah,
but that's a different league.
There's for the video people. So there's a Quentin Tarantino is above the fucking framing that I can get my hand into, and then Wes Anderson is like somewhere right around here. So yeah,
I'm sure like
first movie successes.
Well, as far as like when you were going over like your favorite movies, I was clicking each one of them on IMDb and I was reading their info, their little summaries on them. Mm-hmm. But some of them look really good, like Grand Budapest Hotel. Like it's only like an hour and a half long, and
Grand Budapest Hotel is so phenomenal.
I think even though you weren't a fan of Bottle Rocket, I want you to keep in mind that this is not relative to who Wes Anderson becomes. This is definitely a I want to make a movie. Here's how I make a movie.
Yeah.
But moving forward, I honestly think Rushmore. I think you would be a huge fan of Rushmore, and going throughout his catalog, you would enjoy
Rushmore,
a lot of his
Moonrise.
concepts.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you mind if I tell a little bit of a story on Bottle Rocket real quick?
No, I'm gonna mute you real quick. Actually,
all right, cool. Yeah, you can go ahead and mute me.
I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Can you talk it anyway? So, like I said earlier, Wes Anderson. So he's from Houston. Owen Wilson is. I think Owen Wilson is from the Dallas area. The Wilson brothers. And then, by the way, all three of the brothers are in the film.
Future Man.
Yeah, Andrew is Future Man, and then Owen is Dignan, and then Luke is Anthony. So to have all three brothers in here, I mean, you want to talk about utilizing family? It's just crazy. And the thing that you also know is like Wes Anderson, he's not unlike a whole lot of directors that are out there where they use the same people in multiple different films. It's kind of what Wes Anderson is known for. And once somebody gets like signed on for a Wes Anderson movie, they always, whenever he makes a new project, everybody wants to be able to come back. None more than Bill Murray. Bill Murray has been in, after the French Dispatch, it will have been 9 out of the 10 movies that he has made so far.
Yeah.
So Wes Anderson met Owen Wilson at a screenwriting class, UT Austin. They wrote a script together. It became a short that they actually filmed in 1992 by the same name of Bottle Rocket. Rubyen, I know you watched that today.
I did, yeah.
It's just, what is it, 13 minutes, I think is what it actually is.
Roughly like 10 minutes, 3 minutes of credits with scenes cut in between, yeah.
And then so you get to see like the beginnings of what this was. So they make this right here. They ended up getting that short premiered at Sundance Film Festival, and they were like, "Oh shit, man, this is it. Fucking stardom from here." And then it got zero traction at all. And it just happened to be that James L. Brooks, his assistant, if you don't know who James L. Brooks is
that Mel Brooks' brother?
No. He created a little known show called The Simpsons. Yeah, I know. He was also just a very talented writer. Wrote Terms of Endearment, As Good as It Gets, which ended up, I mean, you want to talk about like Oscar-winning films, and then Broadcast News are kind of the top 3 that he's really, really known for. But James L. Brooks is just a incredible fucking talent and I mean, if he's not a billionaire at this point from the shit from The Simpsons, I just don't know, how that would be a travesty if he's not a billionaire. So, his assistant sees it at Sundance, really, really likes the direction that this kid is headed in, and so gets James L. Brooks in touch with Wes Anderson. So by this time, because they wrote the short because they wanted it to be like the impetus for them being able to make an actual feature-length film. And so Wes Anderson and Owen Wilson, they wrote a script together that upon James L. Brooks first seeing it was 225 pages long, and it would have been well over a 4-hour film. And
I'm ready to see that cut.
Oh my God, I couldn't even imagine that. So they went through the arduous process, just cutting down the screenplay, trying to make it actually into something that was more like a manageable movie. And where the pieces actually like really came together, and whenever they're like, oh shit, we're actually making a movie is whenever they so James Brooks, he calls James Caan, and he's like, hey, I have this role for you. It's these kids out in Houston. Just at least come together. Let's just get together and meet them. So Jim Brooks comes in and James Caan, they come in. They fly into Dallas to this fucking hovel of an apartment that Owen Wilson, Luke Wilson, Wes Anderson, there's like 5 guys living in this 1-bedroom apartment in Dallas. And
I mean, what's changed? Nothing's
different. No shit. And then they show up there and they meet them. They're like, oh shit, yeah, we're gonna give these kids a chance. And so they make this movie that you see. James Caan comes on board, and they're like, holy shit, this is like it's James Caan. It's from fucking Godfather. It's
right.
You want to talk about a heavy actor. That's a fucking heavy actor. And to be able to. They're like, oh, we're actually making a movie instead of just this independent thing that we thought that we were working on. And
Mr.
so
Henry.
Yeah, so they make they get $5 million, and they go off and they make this film. The film, it's in like screenings, and then I watched a fun interview with Wes about one of the screenings for Bottle Rocket, and it has notoriously been known for having the absolute worst movie screening in the history of Columbia Pictures.
And let me know, Tyler. I may have watched a few like interviews with Wes Anderson, but my take on it that I heard from Wes Anderson was that, and on the initial screening, like almost more than half of the audience got up and left. And he was like, at first he said oh, maybe they're going to the bathroom. And then he
then-
realized like 10 people left. He goes, 10 people didn't go to the bathroom together.
They don't go to the bathroom together.
And then he realized he looked out in the audience and he goes, oh shit, almost the entire theater is gone.
yeah, and so
Like,
he
people-
leaves and then goes up into the projector's booth and is like almost ashamed at
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
going on. And so whenever they leave, like, whenever you go to a screening, they give you a comment card and you fill out the comment card. And then one of the things that Wes Anderson said is like one of the comments was like, sucked, SUCKD.
Sucked.
That was the comment. Best favorite part of the movie, none. There was like, it was a very disliked early screening of it. So
That's so sad.
I know. And then
But
like
keep in
right
mind,
then and there, they were like, "Oh shit, okay." So everybody was rooting for him so heavily,
I mean,
and
think
he was
about
like,
that,
"Oh
though.
shit, I guess
They're
my
fresh-
career is over." Yeah,
Yeah, they're fresh out of college. The
Yes.
first movie they do,
yeah.
bombs, completely bombs.
Well,
they lose
so-
millions of dollars.
So before we even get to the bomb, so it opens and they get submitted to Sundance because they got their fucking short submitted to Sundance, and it got picked up, and so they submitted the film to Sundance, and Sundance was like, no thank you. And so they completely turned the movie down, and it never premieres at Sundance. And then it comes out in theaters. Whenever it comes out in theaters, it comes out to 5,000 theaters. So they spent $5 million making this film, and then advertising and everything like that for it. And then it comes out and it makes back a whopping
$500,000. I mean, $500,000.
yeah, $500,000 after everything. But in total box office in box office receipts, it was like $460,000 is what it ended up making in the theaters, and it was just a crazy monumental failure. But the thing that there's this thing that happened to it, which is audiences didn't really get it whenever it was in theaters because nobody was making movies like this. But
I mean,
critics.
hold on. What was out in '95? I don't even recall.
95.
Well, so this movie
like
technically
Forrest
came out in
Gump?
'96.
Technically '96. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see.
We got Twister, right? So that The Craft, those two automatically killed it. Mars Attacks.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mars Attacks? Hell yeah, bro.
I mean, yeah. So this
I
was.
don't seen a lot
yeah.
of movies, but
Hey,
I've fucking seen
A
Mars
Time to
Attacks.
Kill, Fear,
Austin, your girlfriend will love this. Jingle All the Way was out in 1996.
Primal Fear, From Dusk Till
Bona fide
Dawn,
classic.
The Rock, Train Spotting, Multiplicity. Yeah, there was a lot of really good films. Happy Gilmore, fucking Fargo ends up winning the entire goddamn shebang.
Of course.
Because, that's... I can't believe we haven't done a fucking Coen Brothers movie. Anyway, so...
Garfield?
Do what?
Garfield?
No, different Coen brother.
Oh, sorry. I pulled a Bill Murray.
Yes, you definitely pulled a Bill Murray. So whenever it was released in theaters, it was a financial failure, but it was a critical success. In that the critics loved it. Los Angeles Times wrote this fucking crazy piece about it, about how it was like one of the biggest gems of the entire year that nobody had saw. And they bashed the Sundance Film Festival for not even given an opportunity to be able to be shown. And it's because of the critical reviews of it that Wes Anderson was actually allowed to be able to keep making films. And, once he, not only did critics love it, Martin Scorsese, he actually listed it as his top movies of the 90s. It's his number 7 movie out of the entire 1990s. And to be able to get, somebody from, Scorsese's standpoint that loves your movie. I mean, say what you want about the financials of it. They were able to actually accomplish something in the actual making of the movie that allowed him to be able to continue making movies. And it is from that we get, 2 years later, comes out with Rushmore, and then it's just off to the fucking races after Rushmore. Because Rushmore was not just a critical success, but it was a financial success. It was a $10 million movie, and it made $20 million. It wasn't no crazy fucking Avengers making $1 billion, but at the same point in time, for somebody that was a new director, he had 100% had a cult following by the time that Rushmore came out, and then it started the Bill Murray Renaissance. this next stage of Bill Murray's career and allowed him to be able to take off from there. So,
Well, Tyler,
I love Bottle Rocket. I love the storytelling in it. I love the acting in it.
speaking storytelling though, I want to take a moment now.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got the lore, we've got the background, we've got the building of the movie, we've got the cult status, but let's talk a little bit about some of the shots, some of the scenes in the movie, some of the building
setting
up
up
of the storyline.
the Wes Andersons. Yeah.
So I mean, this is a heist movie.
Mm-hmm.
This is a heist movie that plays out as a partner dramedy. I mean, Austin, did you take anything away from the characters here with it being a heist? Like what do you have as far as like the grand scheme of things, right? So I mean, yeah, they're buddies, but like, do you have any specific scenes or specific thoughts about the way it played out on the ultimate heist? And do you recall what the real heist was by the end of the movie?
Yeah.
Great questions. Here's the thing. I don't think I retained a whole lot from this movie.
Okay.
I don't. To me, I mean, like it was like a pitiful heist. Like
it was.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just a really bad heist, if you even want to call it a heist. And then it was like they were so afraid of themselves getting, I guess, arrested or whatever, that they just leave and they just like go hide out, and it just, I don't know. And then
so there's 0 point to the heist. Like the heist wasn't the heist.
Right. The ultimate heist. Let me just real quick.
Was stealing all of Bob's family shit.
Right.
That was
the ultimate heist of the movie was Mr. Henry scoping out his employees. So Austin, let me take you back for a second real quick. Just the beginning of the movie. Let's all start at the beginning of the movie. Okay. So we have Anthony in what we would say an insane asylum.
Yes.
He was in a mental health program. He was in a what seems to be a getaway retreat for rich people. And again, let's take a look at Anthony as a character. Anthony is a well-off, white, upper middle class, possibly West Coast character. Again, the movie's not clear on where it takes place. We see a lot of shots of Texas. We see a lot of Texas logos, but they reference Arizona multiple times.
So that's where the mental health facility is supposed to be.
Right. So Dignan,
that was all shot in Dallas, though.
Dignan made his way. Ultimately, Dignan and Anthony have been friends, what seems to be for years. Anthony tells the girl, I can't remember her name. Do you remember the girl's name? Whenever they're in the back of Bob's. No, not her, not yet. It's the blonde girl.
Was that Stacy?
The college girl, Stacy. Yeah. So whenever he talks to Stacy, he tells her, "Oh, I'm totally nuts." He's playing it up. He's definitely acting it out. He's playing it up to get girls, to get attention, and that's ultimately what it is.
I don't know if he's playing it to get attention.
No, he's 100%. I read it as he's playing it up. She's interested. She wants to know about it. He goes, "Oh, yeah. I totally went nuts. Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And he's like, "Yeah, I went nuts." And she's like, "What happened?" But ultimately what happened was, he said, right, he got tired of the questions of, what are you going to do? Or anything about water sports. What are you going to do with your...
Not only did I not want to answer that question, I never wanted to answer any question pertaining to water sports.
This leads me up to the 90s. Or any question from her ever.
Yeah.
This leads me up to the 90s of Office Space, of you just kind of hate the modern lifestyle of living, right? So he's rich. His family's rich. They have a nice house. He's never worked in his life. He got to go to college. But ultimately, he's just bored. He's depressed. He's tired.
Yep.
And he checked himself in to this mental health program. But Dignan didn't know that. Dignan thought that he was arrested. Dignan thought that he was he got sent away.
Yes.
And Dignan goes to rescue him.
Yeah.
But ultimately, his time...
throws the shit out the window.
He throws the blankets out the window, and then the guy comes in. He's like, "Hey, what is this, man? What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, my buddy thinks that he's breaking me out, and I was gonna come say goodbye to you, but it's just I got to do it this way.
Yeah.
I didn't want to hurt his feelings and let him know that I'm actually just leaving."
look out there. See how happy he is?
Look how happy he is. And he's waving at him.
Yeah.
He's waving at him with the mirror.
He's got the mirror.
Yeah.
Signaling him. Yeah.
That right there, that comedy, it kills me every time. I'm laughing already in the first 5 minutes. And whenever he tells the guy like, "Oh, I didn't want to disappoint him.
Yeah.
Can you hand me my bag?" And like the guy goes along with it. He's like, "You know how bad this looks. Go ahead, hurry up, get it over with." And then he stops and he's leaving, and there's girls out in the grass like reading books. He's like, "Hey, how are you?" And they start talking for like 5 seconds, and like, it's not a mental health institution at all.
No,
Everybody that's
not.
there is just rich and well off, and that's just a place to go in the summer, to the desert of Arizona. That's where they go.
Yes.
And Dignan just thinks, "Oh, I'm coming to rescue him."
Yeah.
And then they take a bus, which is where then the heist comes into play. Dignan and Anthony ride all the way back from Arizona to Dallas, and he's showing him the 25-year plan. Dignan has now created
year plan.
He's got a 25-year plan,
50-year plan, and he's got a 75-year plan.
All the way up until our first real heist. We have to assemble a team. We have to create a cash base, and ultimately their cash base is to rob a bookstore.
That's where they're going to get their cash base from.
2 miles away from Bob's house, because whenever they rob the place and they're at Bob's house, you can see the police cars parked in the parking lot at the bookstore down the road through the trees. And those are the little things that get me. And Austin, I don't know if you caught that, but after they rob the bookstore, they're at Bob's house. There's cop cars flashing their lights in the distance through the patio door in the background. Mm-hmm. And the cop cars are there for 2 or 3 shots, and the cops go away. But yeah, and that's just to imply, like, look, they went and robbed a bookstore 2 red lights away from the house.
Yes.
Like, they're not heist characters. It's just Dignan coming up with all these crazy thoughts and crazy ideas, and he's getting everybody else involved. And all of them are well off. All of them have money, except for what seems to be Dignan. Dignan's the only one that doesn't have a family, that seems to have parent issues, family issues. He doesn't really seem to have friends. He needs money. And he's getting all these other people involved. Anthony and Bob are both rich kids, have beautiful houses. Like, Bob's family's out in Singapore.
Yes.
Right? And like,
Bob's got a shitty older brother named Future
Why
Man.
are they robbing places?
Yeah.
Why are they robbing places? Why are they trying to get money? And it's
because Dignan apparently has watched way too many heist films. And
he got himself involved with this guy, Mr. Henry, who is actually the heist master of everything.
He's just a fucking 2-bit criminal is what he is.
I don't know about that. And we can get into that.
Uses the lawn wranglers as his front.
Yeah. And he said, "Aren't you the guy that used to mow my yard last summer?"
Yeah.
What the hell are you wearing, man? What is that, a jumpsuit? Yeah, it's a jumpsuit, man. What are you wearing?
I want one of those bright ass yellow jumpsuits.
You look like a banana man. I love that scene. I'm just saying, like, the way the movie opens, where we get Anthony in this mental institution, he breaks out, Dignan ultimately rescues him. Automatically, it's already funny.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, but you get to see, like, you want to talk about, like, the Wes Anderson isms of, like, what he becomes known for in his filmmaking process.
The bullet points.
It's the bullet points. It's the lists.
The close-up of the list.
It's the maps. It's the top-down shots. It's the thing that he is known for. And from somebody like, Austin. So, thinking about it from like a filmmaking standpoint, one of the things that Wes Anderson is known for is like the symmetry throughout his films. In almost every scene where there are
every shot is like 90 degrees.
It's always middled. Like you'll see that it's everything is spread out evenly throughout the entire frame, and it's something that's a commonality throughout every one of his films. He invents.
There's always a horizon that's almost directly 50 to 60 degrees of the shot.
He's a brilliant filmmaker that learned a lot of his chops early, and he knows what he likes, and that's what he's known for. He's known for these very specific things that he does, and I love it. I love that one shot. Well, it ends up being multiple shots of like the plan that he has laid out for everybody. But you want to talk about like the discovery that you get of a character as it goes through. Dignan and whenever Dignan and Anthony, whenever they come back, before they even go to their money heist, their practice heist that they do is to break into Anthony's house,
And let me
steal
real quick
shit
before
from
you go
them.
into that. Yeah, Austin, did you catch that? Did you catch the original heist whenever they first come back? Was Dignan and Anthony needed to break into a house, and they were going to steal some stuff to get enough stuff to pawn for cash. They broke into Anthony's parents' house.
Yeah,
they didn't
stole
break
a coin
in anywhere.
collection.
They didn't break in anywhere. They went into Anthony's room.
Yes,
He corrected a little miniature on his desk that it was his room. They didn't steal anything necessarily. They just went into his own house.
Well, they
and then
did.
he told him.
Because,
well, he told him. Well, because his parents thought he was still out in Arizona.
Yeah, well,
but
the thing that he shouldn't have taken, and then he ends up saying that he took,
his
was
mom's
the
earrings.
fucking mom's earrings. Yeah,
yeah, and then that's where they, they start getting mad
bought
at each other.
that for my mother on her for her anniversary.
I told you not to take the earrings. Yeah,
you
and
read
he specifically
the list.
took them. Yeah, because they were worth around $300.
I know you read the list because you signed the list. And he's like, yeah, well, that's all the expensive things were on that list. And he's like,
is it good? That's why you're like the technological guy, man. You're like the technological guy. You know how to break in, man.
I don't have time to be able to go over these lists. That's just too much bullshit.
Man, I mean, honestly, think about it. We didn't really get a lot of stuff. It was not a monetary value out of there, man. But we broke in real well. We did real good on the break-in. Like the comedy that's there.
The diner, the like the going over, how the
hamburger
the whole
joint
thing went, and he was like, okay, so first thing, and then they just start breaking it down of, we had really good time, really good, in and out, the other thing that we really need to be able to work on is, we just didn't get a whole lot of expensive things out of this thing,
right,
yeah, I love it.
Also,
I love those scenes.
Did you catch this throughout the entire movie, Austin? We're going out on the lam. We have to keep our identity secret. People can't know who we are.
Yeah.
And then immediately followed by, hey, Anthony. Hey, Bob. Anthony. Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
Hey, come on. Hey, man. The whole movie, Dignan is just yelling their actual names.
Yes.
Just in the public. He's on the balcony, the second floor balcony. Hey, Anthony, man, we got to go out on the lam, man. People can't know our identities, man. We got to get haircuts.
He's got to get haircuts, got to dye your hair. And he's like, no,
I don't know if I can cut my hair, man. I don't know if I'm going to do that. Not even if we're hiding, not even if we're trying to keep our identity secret. And he's yelling it in public. Just it's that kind of comedy gets me because it's not funny on screen. It's funny if you think about the context of it.
Correct.
Yeah. And he's there. He's even in the barber shop. And then, Bob comes in. He's like, hey, man, my brother got busted for all my marijuana crops. And I got to go back.
Future man getting busted. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, what do you mean, man? They don't know, man. Wait, what does he say? What's the quote? He says, fuck. Wait, I can't get busted, man. I'm innocent. Or whatever. What does he say? I can't remember specifically.
I have no idea.
I gotta look it up. They'll never catch me, man, because I'm fucking innocent. He didn't do anything. Yeah. But he did. He did everything. I just love in public the whole time. Oh, I got to get a haircut, man. Hey, sorry, guys. We'll have to take a rain check. I got to go see what Bob's doing, man. We're trying to hide our identities. He's telling people we're hiding our identities.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. That's just funny to me.
And I love the introduction of, the Inez character. This is the thing about this film. So the film is about a couple of kids who just are bored with their lives, and so they did something stupid to be able to spice things up because Dignan's a fucking crazy person. I mean, that's...
Well, and also, real quick to interrupt you, again, Anthony's whole... I didn't want to answer any questions about water sports. I didn't want to have anything to do with water sports. And ultimately, he's swimming in the pool because he's a swimmer. Obviously, he's from an upper middle class rich family where he was a swimmer in school. He's swimming, and that's where his life then also, not only does he realize his life is meaningless and pointless, but that's where his life changes.
Yeah.
He's in the pool. He meets the girl that he loves.
Correct.
He's
falls
swimming.
in love with Inez.
Yeah.
What part of Mexico are you from? Paraguay?
Paraguay.
Yeah.
It's just perfect, man. It's perfect. You're like trash. You're like trash. You're just floating.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Whenever she's
the translation,
breaking it off with him. Oh, that was so sad.
Yeah. Is that what she said? That's kind of. It's like the context. You're
sounds,
like trash.
It sounds better in Spanish. It doesn't
sounds
sound
better.
like that. Yeah.
I love that whole scene. And then they're still translating, and then it cuts to them back in the kitchen, and he's still trying to do his job, and the kid's still translating the entire time, and then starts speaking the Spanish in her to her, and he's like, wait, what'd she say? You're ad-libbing. It's, the comedy of that blows my mind too.
But yeah, like they even after that, it starts getting serious around the introduction of the Mr. Henry character, and James Caan. He's a very well-known, just incredible actor. Everything from Thief to, like I said, fucking The Godfather. I mean, look, he's been in a crazy amount of movies throughout the years. Always playing a super, super intense character. And you kind of get to see him play kind of he's still an intense character, but he's kind of a goofball. Whenever you first see him, he's practicing whatever martial art that it is.
Got you in the eye.
Yeah.
Got you in the eye. Well, step back. He's like, he's not even
crazy.
good at it. He's like, you're not stepping back.
Yeah. So, it goes from the introduction of his character. I saw the brother in the background. It saw that goes from the introduction of his character to the spot where he's like dropping the fucking the water down on top of Dignan.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's unlocked. Go ahead and try it again, and then gets him again. Oh, he dropped water on me.
But earning the respect of Bob, that was all that he was there for. That's all that he was trying to do was. He has to get Anthony in, because if he gets Anthony in, then it allows him to be able to get close to Bob. And then as he gets close to Bob, I mean, that whole thing at the country club where Future Man starts just making fun of him and shit, and James Caan stands up and he's like, he grabs him in the fucking little wrist lock thing that he does, and he's like, hey Bob, not to, I hope you don't take offense to this. But your older brother is a little bit of a cocksucker.
He's a cocksucker.
Yeah, I love it.
I don't take offense. I don't take offense to that at all.
Yeah. And ultimately, like,
I love
almost none of the movie.
He's Future Man. He's Future Man, right? But he's like, hey, John Mapplethorpe. Nice to meet you, John Mapplethorpe. I didn't get your name. And then he never gets Mr. Henry's name. Like Mr. Henry never actually introduces himself. And I mean, that's the ultimate con there too. He goes out with Bob. He goes, hey, Bob, you go to these country clubs. You don't play tennis. You don't play golf. What are you doing, man? And again, that's another aspect of it, right? Bob is so rich, he doesn't even realize why he goes to country clubs. It's just part of his upbringing, part of his family lifestyle.
Yeah.
He's just at a country club eating dinner that he's not paying for because his family's already too rich for it in the first place, but that's just part of his tradition.
Yep.
And then he brings all these other guests out there. And he asked him, "Was like, why are you at this country club? Like, what do? You don't play any of these sports, And he's getting
ultimately,
to know him.
That's all he is. He's just trying to get to know him so that he can rob his fucking house while he's not, while nobody's there.
Man, that piano's worth like $3,000, man.
Yeah. When they're all sitting there together and playing the piano and just having a good time in there, he's just scoping out all the shit that's inside.
Yeah, he's scoping everything out.
Yeah. And look, it's not like they can fucking rat on him or anything like that because. They were committing a fucking crime.
And that's where we get the main heist too. So in Austin, did you catch all of that? Did you piece all of that together, right? So the heist at the and what even was that place? It was like a freezer locker storage transportation.
Yep. You've named it all right there.
Some kind of warehouse in general.
Yes.
The ultimate heist was not the heist of the warehouse. It was
cold storage facility.
The cold storage facility.
Yes.
It was the ultimate distraction of getting all these guys away from the house, getting them in a location where they were ultimately going to get caught because it was a terrible heist in the first place, because it was all Dignan's plan. Dignan actually is not that great of a heist person, period.
Definitely not great.
And he was like,
there's going to be helicopters. There's going to be
explosives.
Yes.
We got this set up, man. We're going to get out of there. It's going to be great. And ultimately it was Mr. Henry sending all of them off to this main heist to get them caught, to get them distracted so he could spend time, then stealing everything from Bob's house.
Everything.
And not
every
not being
stitch of
involved with
furniture, everything out of the entire house. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was great.
The more you watch the movie, there's more and more little things you pick up that just...
Well, not only that, man, but like just the characters that are in there, fucking Applejack and Kumar and everything like that.
Kumar's like, oh, sorry, I lost my touch, man. It's like, did you even have a touch to begin with? Like, never had a touch. Yeah.
And whenever he's sitting there explaining it in the country club, and he's like, it's about feel. It's about
feel. Yeah, and he goes,
I can hear, and
And that Mr. Henry hired that guy specifically because he knew he didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And that's the only reason he sent him with Dignan, so they could both get caught.
Never got into the safe. Never got anything out of it.
Never even tried. And he's like, "Who is that man? That's Applejack. Applejack.
Applejack has a fucking heart attack.
Yeah.
And then they just have to leave. And so the whole heist breaks down. And you would think that, like, there's a couple of moments that are in the movie where you're like, okay, shit, this is the end of the movie. And it's not. It's not the end of the movie. It just keeps
going. Yeah.
It just keeps going. And it's the reintroduction of, Inez back into Anthony's life, so that it allows him to be able to, that's his first love. It's the love of his life that he gets to go be with.
It's just
now.
perfect, man.
Yeah.
What are the odds of me, a guy down on his luck, just going to this hotel, just meeting you? Yeah. Hey guys, outside the podcast, can we take like a $5?
Oh,
we're balls here.
Well, shit, we're pretty close to being actually wrapped up right now. So, I
wanted to poke in for a second. Listening to you guys, this is why I appreciate doing the podcast, because listening to you guys kind of explain it and stuff that I don't even pick up when I'm watching it, because this might sound fucking stupid, because it's going to sound fucking stupid when I tell you. It never even clicked in my head that Mr. Henry sent them all off to do this shit while he robbed the house.
Right.
Literally, towards the end of the movie, when they get home, or when I guess Bob gets home and everything's gone, it never clicked for me. I was just like, I guess they just fucking got stolen.
That was the
gone.
ultimate plan, though.
Yeah, that was the only plan. Everything else was distraction.
It makes me feel like this is more of a movie that... I guess I should have just paid more attention to.
You got to watch it multiple times
when I was watching it.
Wes Anderson movies, they are known for multiple viewings. So the more times
early,
that you watch it,
Even early in the movie, when Dignan rides up on the mini motorcycle and he's in the yellow jumpsuit, and he's like, "Hey man, what are you?" Yeah, he's like, "Hey," he's trying to talk to him, and then he goes and does one more donut and comes back.
Yeah,
and then he's like, "What are you wearing, man?" "Oh, it's a jumpsuit, man. You like this? I got like 12 more of them." He bought a bunch of jumpsuits with the intention of doing the heist in the first place.
Doing the heist.
But he had no team. He just purposely already bought 12 more. And then later in the movie, an hour later, they're all wearing yellow jumpsuits because he bought them earlier in the movie. Like,
so great.
It's so stupid.
Like Wes Anderson, like I said, it's kind of one of those things that the first time, like, it's very dry. And that's the thing about his comedies. They're very dry. But it's upon the multiple viewings when you go back and watch it, and you're like, oh shit, and then you can kind of start piecing everything together. It's just so incredibly well made. Again, if you're not a a huge connoisseur of film or anything like that, take some time, watch a couple Wes Anderson movies. And look, Wes Anderson, it's an acquired taste. It is not for everybody. It is 100% for me, though. It is. It's right in my wheelhouse. I just love it. I love his filmmaking style. I love everything about the Wes Anderson catalog. Huge fan. I cannot wait for French Dispatch.
If you can take a $5 and talk amongst yourselves.
Yes.
I'm gonna run real quick.
Yeah.
Live on camera.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sprint out of here. I'll be
there
right
you go.
back.
All right.
Great.
So before we get into the latter part of the podcast, Mr. Austin Newell. So now that you have an understanding of that, like you were just saying, I mean, it kind of gives you a little bit more appreciation for the film.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It makes me. If I were to rate the movie, just based on first watching, like, honestly, I probably would have given it like a hard 5.
Okay.
Like, I was not...
Out of 5 out of 5, that's not bad.
Out of 10. Out of 10.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. IMDb rating. Gotcha.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I would have given it probably a hard 5. But listening to you guys kind of break it down a little bit and mention the things that I didn't even catch when I was watching it. And, and that's a problem with me sometimes, is when I'm watching a movie, if it doesn't grab me, like, because Bottle Rocket wasn't pulling me in, like, at all. Like, the acting was the way it was, and then just the way it was filmed, and I wasn't into it, so, like, I wasn't fully paying attention like I thought I was. Maybe, I don't know. But, Yeah, once you guys kind of described a little bit more, then it started to click with me while I was listening to you guys. I was like, oh, okay, this movie is not as bad as I expected it to be.
No.
So
no.
I would probably give it like a 7.
Okay.
I'd probably give it a 7 upon learning like what you guys had to say for it. So.
And look, I would say that with a little bit of that in mind, I mean, you may not even go back and rewatch Bottle Rocket, right away. But like I said, I would love to hear your take on some of the other films in the Wes Anderson catalog. And eventually, as a bonus, I'm going to end up just kind of breaking down all the different Wes Anderson films that are out there. Like I said, I'm a huge fan. Have been for a number of years. Rubyen and I, we had a very in-depth conversation yesterday about the upcoming French Dispatch, and just cannot wait for the movie. So,
speaking of like movies in theaters, though, I don't mean to go off topic,
but
are you guys going to go see Quiet Place 2?
Of course,
because I think that comes out in like a week.
I never watched the first one, man.
Oh my God. Yeah, you want to talk about like incredible theater experiences?
Oh yeah,
Quiet Place is probably one of my most favorite theater experiences because of this. Because it's a almost completely silent movie all the way through. You could hear a fucking pin drop in the theater. There is nobody making any noise throughout the entire thing. At one point in time, there was a guy and he ruffled like a bag of some snack that he was eating, and he was like, "Oh, sorry." And everybody it was dead quiet in the theater and going to see that movie. Can't wait to see Quiet Place 2. It's there is a specific moment that happens in Quiet Place, and it is it's one of the very first moments in it, and it is quite shocking. So, and it's quiet. The whole thing is quiet, and the whole lead up to it is quiet. And then when this thing happens, this girl that was sitting, a couple seats away, she was like, "Oh my God." And that was the only sound of the entire, 2 hours and change that we spent in there watching that. Directorial debut by John Krasinski. And just what a banger to be able to start out with.
I'm telling you,
incredible
man.
job.
Does he direct the second one too?
I'm going to pull it up right now.
I don't know if he
right?
directs. I don't know if he directs, but if he does, I mean, good for him.
Man,
goes from being on The Office to directing one of the better horror movies that I've
written
seen.
and directed by John Krasinski. Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So the first one was as well. Yeah, man, just fantastic. Yeah, and look, now that we get to the point where like theaters are starting to open back up again, oh man, we
really need to, like, all four of us really need to just like start going to see movies and then maybe create podcasts based on the movies that we
do
see.
a podcast like immediately after
theater
it.
cast.
Yeah,
that'd be sick, dude. I'm
immediately
down for that.
after it, sit down
Just
and actually have a conversation about the
movie. Go to
movie.
Tyler's house, like right
Yeah.
And it's
after
just
the
me.
fact.
It's just me complaining about the stale popcorn.
Yes, yeah, just don't eat the look. And this is the thing, and I don't know. I'm part of the problem in keeping movie theaters open. I'm not a popcorn snack drink guy.
I buy it every
all.
time. Every single time.
I definitely am.
I don't spend money. Look at you with your
I've got my white cheddar Smart Pop right here.
I will fuck up that entire bag of white cheddar
better
popcorn.
believe.
Oh my God. And now he's gonna sit there and eat fucking popcorn on the podcast. Great job, dude. Great
Listen,
job.
Tyler,
Hey,
you go
if
to
you guys
the
are
movies,
watching.
Tyler, you go to the movies with us. I promise you I'm going to buy popcorn, and you are more than welcome to enjoy popcorn with us.
Are you trying to cut a hole in the bottom?
For me, it's my dick in a box. Yeah, no. Yeah, like it's for me. It's not the cost. It takes away from the experience for me. So, yeah, I'm not
You're so mistaken.
Dude, I was dick deep in fucking Godzilla versus Kong, munching away on some fucking nachos, bro. I was into it.
I don't even drink soda, dude. But when I go to the movies, I'm like, give me your largest Dr. Pepper. Straight.
The only time that I ever buy any drinks or snacks or anything like that is when my wife and I go to the theater.
My wife.
And because we'll share a popcorn and a drink and stuff like that, and she's got to get like chocolate covered almonds or something like that. So we'll have some type of snacky snack throughout the movie if it's a like a date night experience. But if it's just me going to the movie theaters, which 99% of the time it's just me by myself going to the theater to experience a film, it's not sad at all. It's like legit. It's one of my favorite fucking experiences.
It's cathartic.
So, yeah, it's so cathartic. Oh my God. Yeah, it's the thing that I love so very much. So, all right.
Well, listen, guys.
So that takes us to our wrap up of Bottle Rocket talk.
I just want to say real quick, one of my favorite lines in this movie.
Okay.
And maybe I mentioned this earlier. When Anthony comes back and he goes to talk to his sister at school, can we take a moment to realize the time and place of this movie being in the early 90s? 3 grown men pull up in an elementary school.
Yeah.
Sit outside the elementary school. Another grown man gets out, walks through the crowd of children, and he's like, hey, I don't remember his sister's name. He's like, hey, and they sit down and start talking. He has a full conversation with this little girl, and then 3 grown men wearing sunglasses get back in a car and drive off. Yeah. And there's no teacher, no parent.
Nobody says anything.
Nobody questioning why this guy just got out of a car and starts talking to little girls.
Her name
would
is
not
Grace,
happen
by
today.
the way.
Grace. That's right.
Yes,
Grace.
Yeah.
But I love that Grace is so intelligent on the fact that she goes, I thought you were supposed to be in Arizona. What are you doing back here? He's like, I've got some associates. I'm talking to people.
You mean Dignan?
You mean Dignan?
Yeah,
He's
well,
like,
yeah,
well,
Dignan,
yes, Dignan, but it's also some other people. And she's like, I don't know why you hang out with Dignan. He's like, I thought you liked Dignan. What do you mean? And she's like, well, he's a liar. And what are you doing? And she's not wrong. And she's like, what are you doing? And he's like, come on, Grace. Well, you got into this bad habit of asking so many questions, okay? Look, I'm just trying to give you these earrings. Put these earrings back in Mom's box, all right? And then it cuts.
So terrible.
It cuts on the side of the road. Somehow Bob has now stopped halfway down the road. Anthony has gotten out of the car, and Dignan's like, come on, man, what'd she say to you, man? And he's like, look, she said some stuff, okay? She said you're a liar. What has she done, dude? What has she ever done with her life, man? What's so great about her?
She's a kid.
She's an 11-year-old kid in school. And he's like, what's so great about her life? What has she ever done? That's the funniest part in the movie for me. I don't know.
One of my favorite lines from the movie is, why is there tape on your nose?
Cut my bridge.
No, he's like, but why is there tape on your nose? Bob's asking him. He's like, exactly.
And they get out of the car immediately.
Yeah. So
and then
crazy.
they both go. I love that he goes, oh, I think I left my jacket in there, man. It's like, what's on your, something's on your nose. Oh yeah, I cut my bridge or something, man. Okay, well, stand right here. I'll go check with my manager.
And then Dignan
walks up with the exact same tape.
Yeah.
And the guy's like looking at him, like questioning it. He's like, what's going on, man? Hey, we're close.
He's like, I left something in
there.
He's like,
yeah, I left my money, and pulls out a gun.
Yeah.
Another part, the whole movie, if you go back and watch the movie, Austin, Dignan has catchphrases. Every single line.
He's trying catchphrases.
He's trying different catchphrases the whole movie. And he's never actually having a conversation. If you watch it again, Dignan always has a one-liner or like a phrase or a paragraph that he's reciting. He's never actually having a real conversation. And when they're on the bus, he even tells Anthony, he's like, hey, I would love to talk about like mental stuff all the time, man. But look, people around us, they don't want to hear that, man. Like, I would love to talk about it. I could talk about it all day, but people around us don't want to talk about it.
I could talk about it all day.
Yeah. And he just doesn't want to talk about it. But yeah, man. So guys, we're wrapping up here. I mean, going into the end of this, I could talk about Bottle Rocket for hours, by the way. I mean, just Jesus Christ. So, do you guys have like specific movies that you've decided on or anything you want to recommend? Or,
I do have
how's this going to work with Logan out? We're going to get him to vote by text.
So we're going to get all this together with Logan and then kind of just go from there. But do you guys have a movie that for next week?
No, let me think for like 30 seconds.
Okay. Ruben, do you have a movie for next week?
Yeah, I'm throwing this one out there. This is fresh off the brain.
Here we go. Fresh off the brain.
Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
Oh my God.
Net so tiny.
Okay.
Oh, Taco Bell.
I'm glad that you threw that movie out there. Okay. I'm changing it. It is definitely not a movie that we could spend any longer than we could spend 30 minutes talking about.
You're underestimating. Okay, we'll do a side. We'll do a side episode for that one.
Yeah, Steve Odenkirk. Oh my god. Yeah, Odekirk. I'm sorry, not
His
related
tongue,
to.
his tongue pops out, and then his tongue has a tongue, and he goes,
Yes.
"Ay, ay, ay."
Yes.
I
So
die
dumb.
laughing. I'm a man child.
Well, while
I'm ready.
okay, Austin, what is your movie?
All right, boys, I'm gonna come hard and fast with this one, because we haven't
As
done.
one does.
I don't think we've done a movie by this director, and if we have, please correct me. But The Departed by Martin Scorsese.
We have done. We did Goodfellas not too long ago.
All right,
So-
fuck it. The Departed by Martin Scorsese.
Tyler's already in. He's ready.
Okay.
Tyler actually watched it earlier today.
No, I haven't. Didn't. Actually
I'm
watch
changing. I'm changing mine to Tommy Boy.
Wait, you can just change it?
Yeah, I just changed
All right,
it. It's not.
all right, all
we're
right,
doing-
all right. Night of the Museum.
Okay,
Okay,
no, I
wait,
want to do
just-
Night at the Museum too.
that.
Actually,
Oh my god!
Battle for the
you guys.
Smithsonian.
Stop. Just fucking stop.
movie.
No,
wait, what?
What-
Do you, can we do a B movie?
no, we cannot.
Unironically, four of us just talking
Nope.
B movie for an hour and a half.
No,
And
we
act
cannot.
like it's a good movie.
It's so weird.
So the movie that I would like to throw out there is
A Scanner Darkly.
No. Not even.
I'm getting more popcorn.
Not even in that vein. It is a Bruce Willis flick.
Die Hard.
No,
We've already done
Die
Die Hard, dummy.
Yeah,
Let's go back and revisit it, dude.
I'm gonna give you the second actor that is in this film, and let's see if you can guess it. The
Doubt
second
that I
actor
can.
is going to be Gary Oldman.
Bruce Willis and Gary Oldman. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
Die Hard 2.
Nope. The third actor
Yeah,
is
keep going.
Mila Jovovich.
I don't know.
Are
who
you
that
talking?
is.
Are you talking Fifth Element right now?
I'm talking fucking Fifth Element.
I want you to know
Goddamn
if
straight.
Fifth Element ranks in my top 5. Period. Fifth
Yes.
Element is one of the greatest movies ever
Written
created.
and directed by Luc Besson.
At the age of 14.
Not at the age of 14.
Look it up.
Okay, I will
Look it
definitely.
up.
I will definitely
I've
look that up.
never seen that movie, and I don't know anything about it.
You'll
So-
love it.
You'll love it. I'm not even going to get into it.
Yeah.
You'll love it.
Don't even say anything about it. You'll love it.
It's like
I'm already
Tombstone.
voting
I
Fifth
didn't know
Element.
jack shit about Tombstone.
I'm voting Fifth Element.
Yeah. Okay, you're already voting. You're already voting for Fifth Element.
Yeah, Fifth Element.
Okay.
I'm out. Fifth
Okay.
Element.
So,
I'll vote. I'll vote. Wait, Ruben, what was yours?
Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
I'll
Yeah.
vote Fifth Element.
Okay.
Ay, ay, ay.
And what was
Taco
your movie,
Bell.
Austin?
Taco Bell.
The
Departed.
Departed.
I'm going to vote for The Departed, just so we can, because I can't vote for my own shit. I'm definitely not voting for Kung
Uh-oh.
Pao. So
we have to see what Logan says.
yeah. No, Logan. He's going to have to.
What happens in a tiebreaker
He's
at a
gonna have to
50-50?
chime in. He's going to have to chime in.
There's
at
no
a later point in
tiebreaker right
time.
now, man. I mean,
Text him live right now on the podcast.
Okay, this is happening right now.
you should call him and then
That's
put
what
it
I'm
on
doing right now.
speaker
He's-
and put it next
He's not
to
going to
your...
reply.
No,
He's not
I'm
going
doing-
to reply.
I'm doing it
No,
right now.
he's going to
Hold on,
call him?
Let's see.
Hell yeah.
Ask him, say, hey, The Departed, Fifth Element, or the superior Kung Pao Enter the Fist, and see what he
Okay,
says.
here we go. We're gonna do live. It's not. I don't want to fucking call him on.
I'm just
fucking
eating popcorn
FaceTime
this whole
audio.
time.
Jesus Christ, that's stupid. I mean, I fucking hate my iPhone sometimes, because it goes straight to FaceTime audio instead of actually making a fucking phone call to a human being.
Sounds like a user
Who the
error.
fuck uses FaceTime audio? Like legit.
Literally anybody
Logan
with an
Henderson
iPhone.
will have to choose between 3 films.
Here we go.
The first one being
go.
Paddington 2.
Here we go.
This just the sequel.
The
Does
second
he
one
answer?
being
Fuck.
Hey
he's
Austin,
gonna
I want
answer.
you
What?
to I
Three
want you to
rings.
watch a Ben Stiller movie called The Secret Life of Walter
Hello,
Mitty.
Mr. Henderson. You are live on podcast, the movie, the podcast.
We have a caller.
We have a
First
caller
time caller,
to the podcast.
long time listener.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh, I can barely hear him.
Yeah, I need him
hold on.
louder.
Here we go. I'm got his audio right up to the microphone. Let's see if I can get some volume.
All right, first time caller, long time listener. We've got Logan here.
Yeah.
with
So
us.
Logan, we are presenting with 3 different films right now.
Paddington 2.
So the 3 films that we have, it's not fucking
B
Paddington
movie.
2, Austin. Stop saying that shit. What we have is we have Kung Pao Enter the Fist. That's Ruben's entry.
That's not.
Okay.
I could have told you it was Rubens.
Yeah,
I could have told you that.
Yeah, it was definitely Ruben's entry. Austin's entry was The Departed. So that's something.
Yeah, okay.
And then
Is he
my
fucking talking?
entry-
I can't hear a damn thing he's saying.
Yeah, I can hear him perfectly. You'll be able to hear it on the podcast, hopefully. And then my entry is a crazy great film starring Bruce Willis, Gary Oldman, and Mila Jovovich.
Wow, you're just
Called
fluffing your movie and just shitting on ours,
Fifth
huh?
Element. Yes. Yeah. So what's your vote?
That's quite a slate of films right there.
Uh-huh.
Very different.
Yes.
All very interesting, and let's be honest, eventually we'll cover all of these. I'm
Yes.
pretty sure.
Yeah, we're going to cover, I'm certain one of these days we're going to cover Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
Well, I think it may come sooner than you expect because I've only got one thing to say, and that's
Yeah, oh,
Oh
no. No.
So small.
No.
Can't move.
All right, so what movie do you vote for?
Man, why you got to do me like this? And I'll tell you this though, it's been a long time since I've seen The Fifth Element, and I just watched Rush Hour, and with that in mind, I think that's gonna be my vote is The Fifth Element. But man,
I think I heard Fifth
I'd really
Element.
like to watch Kung Pao, so I'm probably gonna watch that too.
You can
But my
totally watch
official
Kung
vote is-
Pao. His official vote is The Fifth Element.
You heard it
So-
here first, folks. We are watching
Yes.
Paddington 2.
All right.
For next week,
We are not
podcast.
watching Paddington 2.
Paddington.
That just
Thank you
keeps
for
Okay, I
tuning
just-
in.
Shut
I
the
just
fuck
bought
up,
it
Make sure
Austin.
you
4K.
email us at podcastthemoviepodcast.com
All
right.
for more
Thanks, Logan.
Paddington 2 news.
Bye.
I bought 4K Paddington for $27 just now.
So,
I've never seen
Jesus
Paddington,
Christ, shut up.
I've never seen either
Paddington
one.
2.
They have some of the greatest reviews. They're like top 10 movies ever created, apparently.
What, the Paddington movies?
Yeah.
I've
Back
also-
to back,
I've
Paddington.
rated
I've
them
heard that
anything is
too, but
wrong,
I've never
so.
seen them.
I've also heard that. I've heard that Paddington 1 and 2 are some of the best movies ever created, period.
No, that's lies. That's what that is. That's just
Okay,
lies.
well, 25,000 reviews at
Those people are-
4.8 are throwing you off.
Those
right
people are lying. So, all right. So next week we're going to be covering Fifth
now. Paddington
Element.
2.
Paddington 2 it is. Awesome, guys.
Wow.
Hey, thanks
Good.
everybody for sticking around this long.
Yep,
Tyler, Austin, thank you guys for watching Bottle Rocket.
absolutely. Love you guys. See you
Course.
next week.
See you later.